Coming in at number 10, Strive to Success. The release of the Wild Update Minecraft Java Edition 1.19 release candidate 1 doesn't include any major changes or features, but in fact, there's exactly one fixed bug included in the snapshot changelog. As Mojang Studios has essentially finished polishing the next Minecraft content update, the Minecraft Focus Studios is assured that there aren't any lingering game-breaking or serious issues in the Wild Update. Ahead from this addition to one of the best PC games around, as long as there are no more bugs discovered by Mojang Studios or the Minecraft community, this could be the best build released in Minecraft for 1.19. The Wild Update that came out on June 7th, in case you missed it, the release candidate follows the release of the new Minecraft Bedrock Edition preview build and ends to the recent string of the Minecraft Java Edition 1.19 pre-release snapshots. If all goes well, the Wild Update to all Minecraft players with the new biomes, mobs, and gameplay mechanics, fixed bugs, darkness effect, fading in dead screens, causing subtle flashing. Okay? Thank God they're fixing some stuff. They're finally saying, yeah, this is it.
And at 9, Warden senses. Now, is it just me or does anyone else think that there's something fishy going on with the Warden here? I mean, more than usual. Yeah, he's blind and can smell and hear you, whatever. But when I'm 12 blocks away through a solid 12 block thick wall, how is he still able to use his shrieking attack and absolutely destroy me? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, through 12 meters of solid stone, there is no way that the Warden can smell me or hear me if I'm sneaking. Yet he's still able to nearly one-shot me. How? I think it's because there's more than just a smell or sound that guides him. I recently captured a Warden in a live stream, and yes, I actually captured one. Long story. But what I realized quickly was that when he locks onto you, he can follow you for quite the distance. I was flying around on an Elytra, but he was still able to follow me despite me being over 30 blocks away. Way out of smell or sound range. I think that this is because the Warden does have a form of sight, but I think that he can see your soul. I mean, he has them inside him, as we can see, and that's really what the Skulk's whole shtick is, more on that in a minute, but the Warden being able to see your soul makes sense as to why he prioritizes the player when he gets angry, and how he can follow you for seemingly ages.
Coming in at number 8, New Achievements. With the new update comes new achievements, and hunters, get ready. They added 7 new achievements. Birthday song, have an ally deliver a cake and a note block to you. Bucket, catch a tadpole in a bucket. It spreads, kills a mob near a Skulk catalyst. Sneak 100, sneak near a Skulk sensor or Warden to prevent it from detecting you. When the squad hops into town, get a frog variant on a lead. With our powers combined, have all 3 frog lights in your inventory. You got a friend in me, which is honestly one of my favorite ones. Have an ally deliver items to you, which is honestly my favorite because hey, that's a Toy Story classic. So yeah, definitely some of these sound easy, but as you know, the craft is not easy. For sure scary, but not easy.
And it's 7 souls. Is it possible to think that any experiments going on with souls, be it with the Illagers or otherwise, actually came from the Skulk? Skulk is known to contain souls. This is very evident. Skulk blocks hold XP that you can get by breaking it with a hoe. Skulk Catalyst turns souls into Skulk. And Skulk Shriekers have souls swimming around them that literally scream whenever they hear anything. And even the Warden has souls on his chest, or in his chest. Going by Steve's standards, he actually has at least 25 human souls inside of him if we consider the amount of hearts to be a measure of souls. And if instead he also absorbed the Wither, he would then have 10 souls of humans and then the Wither one, which means that when he emerged from the portal, he would have killed 10 ancient builders and the Wither, and then the rest of the ancient builders fled. Or in Bedrock Edition, he didn't even kill the Wither because he doesn't have 600 health, which means that we have like 2 different universes going on already. Yeah, that's for another number, goddamn.
Coming in at number 6, mob changes. Enderman skeletons and Wither skeletons now spawn from a light level of 0 to 11 in the Nether, which is a wider range than before. Invoker, Illusioner, and Witch changed their models as well. Now their last 2 rows of the pixels on their robes can render. Pillager changed its model slightly to shorten its coat to match its actual texture. Spiders and cave spiders fixed texture mapping of both types of spiders. Oh, don't want to even talk about spiders. Villagers changed their models too, which also have the last 2 rows of their pixels, and their robes can also render as well. Change the textures in all biomes. The color of the top and the bottom of their legs now matches its size very correctly. Remove the identical parts in the Savannah villagers texture with the villagers base textures. So many textures we're talking about today. Textures. Slightly changed jungle villagers shoes. Vindicator changed its model, slightly shortened its coat to match its actual texture. Changed its crossed arms as well. The gap between the two arms is connected correctly now. Change the color of the steam in their face between their upper arms and their lower arms as well, which is not visible in default. The wandering trader now sells 1 mangrove propagule for 5 emeralds. Zombie villagers changed their models as well. Now the last 2 rows of their pixels also can be rendered as well. So it's honestly, when it comes down to this, it's just about their clothes being rendered, a lot of textures being changed, but it's changed for the good. So everything, like I said, has been slightly changed, even down to the jungle zombie textures and their shoes, you know what I'm saying? So literally everything is going to be changed for the better, and it's not going to be for worse. So be happy with this update.
Halfway through into number 5, the Minecraft Multiverse. Well, seemingly Hermitcraft is introducing the Minecraft Multiverse with Grian's Rift. The greater Minecraft Multiverse may actually be starting thanks to Minecraft Legends and Bedrock. Quote from the Minecraft Legends article on Minecraft.net. Stories are powerful. They create a bridge between us and generations long past, as well as ones to come. We want to tell you another story about a peaceful coexistence where adventurers did not get chills when hearing hissing, groans, or the clatter of bones. And this is actually backed by the fact that at the beginning of the trailer, there's zombie villagers playing next to normal villagers, not trying to eat them, and there's creepers just having fun in the back. The website also specifically says where adventurers did not, and I read that as never did, even before the piglins actually invaded. So could this be a universe where we're in essence just always in peaceful mode? And add to that the whole Bedrock and Java are different universes thing, because the same seed has different worlds on each version, they have different rules and generation styles, and the whole thing with the Wither and the Warden absorbing souls thing. I feel like we have like quite the No Way Home level conundrum on our hands. I feel like I'm gonna have to get a goatee and go out throughout the multiverse.
Coming in number 4, the Warden and the Deep Dark is no joke. For those who prefer foes, don't worry, this update has you covered too. Fresh dangers emerge quite literally from the new biome as we know as the Deep Dark biome. Triggered by the vibrations and the new Warden mobs are definitely dangerous. Yeah, you do not want to get caught in the Deep Dark biome. It's tough, okay? They emit a chilling screech as they burst from the ground in the overworld to prey on the unsuspecting miners. It is with no hesitation that the Warden earns the title of the scariest Minecraft mob. And if you don't think so, you could just ask Carter, because he says that fast as hell, and he has it as a pet, so hey. And you know, aside from HEROBRINE, which is my homie of course, but it's so true, okay? Watching Connor capture that, and I literally watched him capture this beast over the 3 long hours, it's painful funny to watch, but honestly, when he got the hot sauce and he rolled, oh, GG's to the king cheese.
And at 3, color delay. We see a couple different colors of Allay in the trailer for Minecraft Legends, a blue one and a gold one. First, I thought that the gold one was an Allay King that I mentioned in another video, but I'm actually not sure that's the case anymore. The possibility of color delay has been in the base Minecraft game since 1.19 was actually released, okay? It was just a rumor that was false. But in Legends, I think that these are serving multiple purposes. The blue Allay are like the ones from normal Minecraft, okay? They grab items, but instead of just putting them in a chest, they bring them to you directly. It's just a mechanic in these kinds of games, including Diablo. But gold, or yellow Allay, I prefer gold because, you know, king. But these are seemingly the builders. They help build what I guess is a fort in the beginning of the trailer, or at the end of the trailer, which is why the yellow Allay hasn't actually shown up in normal Minecraft, although it is possible that they'll get added in the future. I mean, like, we have like the place command now that actually lets you put structures in the game, so maybe in a future update we'll be able to actually have Allay build those for us. But yeah, as long as we give them the proper blocks, which actually would be pretty cool.
Coming in at number 2, hybrids may be lurking. Living up to this name, the Wild update has certainly brought us plenty of new surprises for the players, including wilder biomes like the swamp and the mangrove forest. A whole new map. These wilder biomes also contain a plethora of all new mobs, and if the player are very lucky, they might even spot the new hybrid mobs roaming about. Hybrids are unique to Minecraft species. They're a cross of human and monsters. The hybrids came about the century before in the events of the Hybrid Chronicles, when a human fell in love with a monster. A violation of the sacred law, the human was promptly outcasted from his village, so he went to live with his beloved. This triggered many other forbidden romances to the point where the law has passed that any humans in love with monsters were expected to be executed on sight. Meanwhile, hidden away in an uninhabited corner of the planet, those marriages had children. These children had half human and half monster, and one day they would become to permanently close off the hole of Minecraftia that it has dug itself into.
Finally, in at number 1, Woodland Mansion Wool. I want to point out an odd detail that I noticed, and I'm not really quite sure of the implications it has. Remember those piles of wool in Woodland Mansions that we assumed was the Illagers trying to rebuild Steve? Well, it's my theory that this was actually never the case. The piles of wool in the actual ancient city, known as Camps 1, 2, and 3, all contain the same wool found in Woodland Mansions, as well as dark oak logs. Now, the fact that these both contain the same color of wool as the Woodland Mansion wool rooms and dark oak wood instantly made me connect these two locations. Obviously, Woodland Mansions were not built by the Illagers, okay? They had to move in at some point after they were abandoned, and given that apparently the ancient city structure is as rare as a Woodland Mansion, there's an even stronger connection there, although I can't confirm that at this time. My thought is that the ancient builders learned of a way to make an end portal, hence the prototype of wool in that one room, but then they wanted to put it low so they could protect it. So they moved to the bottom of the world and made their first portal, which they lit to escape the Wither, and it actually let the Skulk and the Warden through. Then they fled further up, where the Skulk couldn't reach them, and then made the proper portal there, hence the strongholds. Hell, maybe the ancient builders are who made the first Illagers in some sort of weird experiment before actually discovering the portal. In at 10, Minecraft's real lore. Much like how Minecraft Dungeons expands on the lore of the Illagers, I think Minecraft Legends is planning on expanding on the Piglin and the Nether lore, but also helping to provide us an explanation as to the rest of the lore in the base game and what it may be. I'll go over some specific points later in this video. However, a question I had when watching the trailer was, why are the Piglins invading? Don't they turn into zombies after like 30 seconds of being exposed to the overworld? And while this is a different overworld with new biomes and structures and rules, I think that there could be some lore explanations already working out in our favor. MattBat once theorized that there was an airborne zombie virus that was poisoning the overworld that things living in the overworld eventually developed an immunity to, unless otherwise compromised by lightning or a zombie bite, and that's why the nether mobs turned into zombies after exiting a portal. However, I propose a theory that the army we recruit in this game actually is what releases the toxin, as an effort to prevent the piglins from invading again, either as a last ditch attempt after they win, or maybe it was their plan all along. A toxin that only affects piglins, or that, like we thought, something we do develop an immunity to. In at 9, the Minecraft Nations. At a minute and 33 seconds into the trailer, the book of the villagers reading actually flips past a page that has 3 symbols on it. I believe that these will be the nations or the groups that we will have to recruit in the Legends story mode. The one on the far right seems to be an LA with the crown on its head. I'm guessing it's the LA King. The middle one seems to be the Skeleton King with a very weird crown, and the far left seems to be a zombie with what looks like either an empty head or a small brain. Either way, given the context, I'm guessing that they're the king, or at least the leader of the zombie faction or clan or whatever you want to call it. This could also be a reference to the secret paintings added in 1.19 that seem to be similar to the nations from Avatar: The Last Airbender, fire, earth, water, and air, but these are unused, hinting to me that they're unfinished, since with these kings in Legends, they could be representing air, water, and earth. Fire could either be us humans or the piglins that are invading, but since they don't want to give that away just yet, they put in placeholders for us to speculate about, but I think that this is a pretty solid explanation. In at 8, color delay. We see a couple of different colors of Allay in the trailer for Minecraft Legends. A blue one, the normal one, and a gold one. At first, I thought that the golden one was the Allay King I mentioned in the last number, but after seeing multiple, I'm not so sure that's the case. That seems like a lot. The possibility of color delay has been in the base game since 1.19 was released. It's been something people were talking about, but it's not true. But what do these do in Legends? Well, I think that they're actually going to serve multiple purposes. The blue Allay are like the ones from normal Minecraft. They grab items, but instead of bringing them to a chest, they bring them to you. I'm sure it's just a game mechanic meant to stop you from spending ages trying to pick up items, or maybe it's a lore reason as to why they all come to you. And the gold or yellow Allay are seemingly the builders. They help build what I guess is a house in this trailer, so the different Allay, if there are more than these two as well, will probably do additional things. Which is why the yellow Allay don't show up in in Minecraft. Although it is possible that they will be added in the future. I mean, like, we have the place command now that lets you place structures, so maybe in a future creative update we will see something like this. And it's possible that to have a yellow allay build these structures for us if we end up giving them the proper blocks for it, which will be extremely cool and extremely interesting. And it's 7 Ancient Beacon. There is a structure we see in the beginning of the trailer that has the same pattern appear multiple times throughout this video. Once in the book that the villager is reading at the beginning, and then in the golden structure in the village, the structure that looks like a portal that the LA fly through, and then it can be seen in the gameplay actually spinning around. My guess is that this is probably an ancient form of beacon, before the discovery of the nether and the soul sand that eventually creates the wither. Hell, honestly, even in the main game there are no naturally generated beacons, so my thinking is that this is their first attempt at gaining buffs or the like. It could be that these structures are even what keep the peace and prevent the monsters from turning hostile for whatever reason. If it was just a structure, I'd assume that they were trying to make a beacon, but it actually turning and spinning around is what makes me think that they actually must be doing something. But that's what they're doing, I'm unsure about for now. Or maybe these are the receptacles that actually release the toxin that turns the piglins into zombies. And it's 6 golems. Looking at the poster for this game, since there really isn't anything else for this game, we can see designed creepers, meaning that creepers will be in this game. However, it's also interesting to see that there are a load of other creatures that aren't in the base Minecraft game. We see what I can only assume are sentient prototype wooden dispensers that look like Cubert with a head full of arrows, a golden allay like I mentioned earlier, but also 3 different types of golem, a seemingly carved stone golem, 4 of those at least, a mossy cobblestone golem above those, and some odd blue golems next to the creepers. Now I'm not exactly sure what these could be, however I'm guessing that they're either diamond golems, but that seems kind of ridiculous, or possibly skulk golems, since they do have a similar appearance to the Warden's design, and they seem to be made with deep slate as well. Whether these were created by humans or if they just joined the fight on their own is up for debate, but I think that those are skulk golems and that they're exclusive to this game. Maybe they're in dungeons? I don't know, I haven't played dungeons. Halfway through into number 5, Falling Out. In the beginning of this trailer, I think the strangest thing we see is actually that there are zombie baby villagers playing in the village next to normal villagers without actually killing them, which is absolutely insane. Like, what? No way that's a thing. Well, believe it or not, it is. It's right there, right in the beginning. How could this be possible? Is it possible that maybe the zombies and villagers had a falling out later on that causes them to become enemies? Or maybe in our lore, the Nether War ends up turning the zombies to their side since they don't have to wear stupid hats in the Nether. So instead, the zombies join their team. I don't know, but it's certainly interesting to see that while we think we have to unite all these warring factions, they don't seem to be at odds at all. And in fact, they never were. More on that later. Or could it be that the toxin that they released to keep the piglins at bay after the war also turns the mobs hostile? And at 4, ruined portals. One mystery I've been thinking about recently is the nether portals from the main game of Minecraft. Where did they come from? Why is there nether leaking out of them, and why are they ruined? My first thought was the Shadow of Israfel, since those portals had a similar sort of style. They were scattered around, destroyed, leaking nether, but that doesn't fit into the normal Minecraft lore. However, in the trailer for Legends, this could be an explanation. The nether starts leaking out of these portals that start popping up everywhere, so that explains the netherrack around these portals now, and it also explains why the portals came around. But because they were generated from the other side. They were ruined because we had to sever the connection, and the tools were left nearby in case they ever ended up invading again. This game seems to be trying to explain the piglin and nether lore more, which I am certainly looking forward to. Getting close to the end, and in number 3, Minecraft Multiverse. While seemingly Hermitcraft is introducing the Minecraft Multiverse with Rian's Grift, the greater Minecraft Multiverse may be starting thanks to Minecraft Legends. Quote from the Minecraft Legends article on Minecraft.net. Stories are powerful. Legends teach us about what is past and what might have been. They have created a bridge between us and generations long past as well as the ones to come. We want to tell you another story about a peaceful coexistence where adventurers did not get chills when hearing hissing, groans, or the clatter of bones. And this is backed by the fact that, like I said in the beginning of the trailer, there are zombie villagers playing next to normal villagers. And while this could have developed later on, the website specifically says where adventurers did not, as in never did, even before the piglins invaded. So could this be a universe where we're in essence always on peaceful mode, but that monsters can also spawn because they aren't hostile? Or is the war a splitting point between what we see in this game and what we experience in normal Minecraft? Penultimately, in at number 2, inspired by Fallen Kingdom. See, the first thing I noticed was the piglin invasion reminded me of a very old series of Minecraft music videos, a saga if you will, by the one and only Captain Sparkles, aka Jordan Moran. Starting with Fallen Kingdom, which didn't feature anything Nether related, but the follow-up, Take Back the Night, very much did. In fact, it had so much impact that it pushed the rest of the story. The other 2 music videos, Find the Pieces and Dragonhearted, heavily focused on the war between the overworld and the piglins, who at the time were the zombie pigmen, but they still kinda had the ears of the piglins, which is where many assume the idea for the ears came from. In Take Back the Night, in fact, the main character is the chosen hero of legend, which is interestingly enough the story of Minecraft Legends. The big bad of the piglins was in fact a big brutish one wearing armor, which at first was made from wither skeleton parts but then was upgraded. The series even features taking the fight to the piglins like they suggest you do in this game's description. I don't know, but I feel like if we're not going to get an Aw Man achievement, this is a pretty good second. And finally, in at number 1, HEROBRINE is in the game. Especially if it's inspired by the Fallen Kingdom saga, it seems to me like HEROBRINE could very possibly be present in this game. They've made it clear that this is a different overworld, not one that we play around with in normal Minecraft, which means to me that they're doing something kind of daring. The issue of adding HEROBRINE, however, would be copyright with the character, since the character, while being based on Minecraft, was indeed created by a fan. So there would have to be some kind of agreement to get him in the game for real, but with the piglins popping out of the portal with glowing white eyes, it set off a trigger in my brain. I mean, yes, their texture in-game does show their eyes as a white pixel, but glowing white eyes is still synonymous with HEROBRINE, especially when the big guy squints and it looks like there are 2 pixels for his eyes, okay? That sent me spinning. Oh, and also if this is taking inspiration from Fallen Kingdom, HEROBRINE makes an appearance in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd videos of the series. I don't know if he was in the 4th, but if they are taking inspiration from it, it could be that they take an antagonist as well. Or maybe just have a temple that hints at his existence.
Coming in at number 10, location. Legends will probably take place sometime long before Dungeons does. Now, while I'm not that interested in zombie villagers, I am very interested in how the piglins will survive in the overworld. All piglins and hoglins will start to shake once first entering the overworld and eventually become zombified, with the exception of one, the piglin merchant in the dungeon supposedly doesn't become a zombie because of all the nether fungi he carries around him. So will the piglins that raid the overworld carry fungi as well with them, or is this something else that just stops them from zombifying? So where are we really playing though? Are we playing in the ancient cities, or are we just playing underground? I mean, yeah, of course we are playing underground as Minecraft, but it really goes to show the devs are going ham in this game.
And at 9, the next game. Now, when we're talking about the next game before this current one has even come out, you're going to get into very speculative territory, but I think that this is certainly something that's developing a pattern. This game, along with the last game, seem to be expanding on certain aspects of Minecraft's lore, but in a way that makes not everything they do canon to the main game, which is certainly a clever way of approaching this, since they can gauge what fans actually like and what they don't like, so they can omit or include the proper things to the main game. And while you may think that Minecraft doesn't need lore, it has a story, okay? It has a final boss, so that makes there be lore. But in the end, if you want it to be different, it can be. That's what Minecraft is. I, for example, claim that my character is from a race of aliens that live on the moon, but going back to the next game, I think that it will most likely expand on another mysterious realm, the End. The End has been a mystery for us players ever since version 1.0 when it was introduced, so I think that the next game, whatever style it's in, possibly a SimCity style, you heard it here first, will be about the End, or that SimCity about the End will come eventually. You may have to wait 20 years for it, but I think it's gonna happen.
Coming in at number 8, canon to dungeons. Stories are powerful. Legends teach us about what has passed and what might have been. They create a bridge between us and generations long past, as well as the ones to come. True, it might not be as most likely to dungeons, but it's also canon, as this game has been in development since before Dungeons has even came, started in 2018. Being worked on also by the same company that made Minecraft Earth, rest in peace because we don't really talk about Minecraft Earth anymore. It can also be noted that this was 2 years before the Nether update, and that might be where the Ruined Portal's inspiration has came from, or maybe even started from. You know, it's crazy to see where Minecraft Legends is gonna go.
And at 7, the legendary Dungeons universe. In the same vein as Legends being canon to Dungeons, what if they're establishing a connected universe between all these games that aren't main Minecraft? I mean, the girl we see on a horse riding away from the rotating structure in one of the gameplay gameplay sections looks an awful lot like Valerie from Minecraft Dungeons, one of the 4 canonical heroes and the first to actually have been named. Same hair color, same outfit, albeit the Legends version has a hood, and the only discrepancy here really is the eyes, but to be fair, this isn't the final gameplay, and it is common for things to be in the trailer that get modified for the final release. Take Skyrim for example, since I'm not even going to talk about Marvel. In the gameplay demo, you exit Bleak Falls Barrow directly looking at Whiterun, but that wasn't the case in the main game. You're actually on the other side. So this could very well just be a placeholder for when they fully add the proper sized Valerie skin, or maybe this comes before or even after Dungeons, or they all share one universe and they're happening at the same time, and now they're building a new world with additional lore that they can't really put in the main game. I don't know, but it's a theory. Minecraft!
Coming in at number 6, the gameplay. Minecraft Legends is a unique action strategy game, and it has strategy elements at its core, but its mechanics are inspired by the immersion of the action games. You get to explore the familiar yet in many new ways overworld in the third-person perspective. You will defend peaceful settlements and fight hordes of piglins to stop the spread of their nether corruption. You are the center of every battle you lead, fighting alongside your allies while giving them directions. We'll reveal more about your achievements to the monumental task of repelling the piglins' invasions in the coming months. Some people are even comparing it to League of Legends. Really? League of Legends? Nah, this ain't no league, okay? From the looks of the trailer, we are gonna have more control of our characters, okay? It ain't no league. No.
Halfway through into number 5, the WAYSHRINES. Speaking of that rotating structure, there is one symbol that appears all throughout the Minecraft Legends announcement trailer. And then honestly, it really triggers my brain, and not in a bad way, but in this is like a really important moment kind of way. It appears on the cover of and inside the book at the beginning of the trailer. It appears on the golden statue in the village, it appears on the structure that the Elei fly through, and it appears on the poster as well as an actual gameplay that has it spinning around like I mentioned earlier. At first I thought it was some rudimentary type of beacon, but now I think that these are actually a form of portals. Okay, look at the poster. It's very symmetrical. There's 2 armies, okay, there's the landscapes even kind of mimic each other, and you can see a nether portal behind the S of the Legends logo, which makes sense because it's on the nether side. But just behind the letter L on the overworld side is where this structure thing appears. Now, I don't think that it's a nether portal, okay, those are obviously obsidian on either side of the portal, but rather this time I think that they're actually going to be this game's version of WAYSHRINES, which will be an easy way to teleport around the map once you've unlocked a new area that can be immersive without having to add fast travel. Hence why the book would talk about it, why it would be on the cover, why the village would have one, why it would be spinning around all magical in the gameplay, and why it shares the same place as the portal on the poster. I mean, symbolism. Come on.
Coming in at number 4, the story. Minecraft Legends is a brand new game that tells the story of the overworld uniting against the invasion of the ravenous piglins. We talk about the piglins because piglins are the main thing in this game. According to the Legends, only you can bring together the mods in the overworld and help you defend their home. The events that you will take part in are neither fact or fiction. They are simply a part of a tale that has been passed down from villager to villager. There is no records or evidence of the great hero that has raised the banner to save the overworld. All that remains is a powerful legend. But really though, the hero is us, unless we are getting some type of hint that we're finally gonna see my homie BRINE in action. And believe me, if he's a boss, guys, we are gonna be in some serious trouble. Homie BRINE does not play around.
Getting close to the end into number 3, the Warden. The Warden doesn't actually seem to be in this game, and honestly, for good reason. If we're correct about the story of Minecraft and the Warden, at this point, the world wouldn't have seen the Wither yet, or even the Enderman and the End. Or even the Nether. I mean, I don't think we've seen any Endermen in the trailer for Legends, so they would have no need to try and build a portal to a new dimension. But if that is the case, where did those odd, seemingly skull-confused golems come from in the poster for the game? It's certainly a question, because with all this bliss the world has to offer, it seems like there would be no need to try and resurrect your friends with soul sand, only to accidentally unleash a horrific monster on the world, resulting in them creating a portal that unleashes the Skulk. I mean, that is certainly what Disc 5 sounds like is happening, but this is a different overworld, so maybe they all live in harmony. Plus, the Warden would kind of be overpowered in this fight. But given the fact that the piglins summon the Wither and find the pieces, part 3 to the Fallen Kingdom series, and how this seemingly is inspired by that series, I wouldn't put it past this game to give us a ringer as well, just to confirm our suspicions that the Warden did indeed kill the Wither.
Coming in number 2, Minecraft Legends Platform and Price. It's a spin-off of Minecraft, and this Legends will launch on the PC, Xbox Series X, and Series X, the Xbox One, and Microsoft hasn't revealed the price of Legends yet, but players who have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and Game Pass for the console and or Game Pass for the PC subscription will get Minecraft Legends to play at day one at no additional cost. Xbox Game Pass subscription starts at 349 rupees in India, which is like $6 Canadian, honestly, and bro, $6 Canadian, I would love to pay that, because right now we're paying like $11.99 for Ultimate and $16 for like the big pass. So India, you got it good for the craft, I'll tell you. But Mojang has announced that Minecraft Legends will also be coming to the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and PS5 in 2023. But let's be real, it's gonna be free on the box. On the Pony and the Switch, it's gonna be around like 79 to 89 doll hairs, okay? So kiddies, start saving, get those allowance money, and start putting it towards some Legends, alright?
And finally, in at number 1, DLC. I feel like we all know that there will be DLC for this game at some point. However, what the DLC will be is certainly a mystery. With Dungeons, they could kind of do whatever they wanted since they could just add new levels, but with this being so focused on dimensions we already know, what they could really do is up in the air. Like, what could they really do to give us a reason to buy this DLC? Well, what if instead of a new game featuring the end dimension, they instead send us there for whatever reason, either to liberate the end, or maybe because the foe we're looking for isn't in the nether in this game. But also, it could be that since after the invasion we learn of different dimensions and we can end up discovering a new one, but I don't know how they want to play this. Do you think that we could see more dimensions in Minecraft Legends, maybe even getting a look at the Skulk's homeworld? Be sure you let me know in the comments. Personally, I'd save multiple dimensions for a new game, like Minecraft Dimensions, but with some skins from Dungeons being called other dimensional heroes, and one of them being the Void Voyager, who really knows what might happen.
Coming in at number 10, HEROBRINE's girlfriend. Alex Brine walks around a mine when she comes across Noob 53918, who is currently mining diamonds, until he noticed Alex Brine. However, instead of being scared of her, Noob 53918 asks if he and Alex Brine could be friends, to which she responds by striking Noob 53198 with lightning until he dies, and then she says that kill was way too easy. Then HEROBRINE is walking around the save cave system where he and Alex Brine meet, and at first they have a friendly chatter until HEROBRINE says he is the scariest creature in Minecraft, which causes Alex Brine to nearly choke on laughing what HEROBRINE said. He talks about how he finally found her and that her eyes look different than what they did when they last met, but that doesn't even matter. He begins to talk about how he was cleaning the room when he starts to show an embarrassing pictures of her to the point where HEROBRINE joins her in the laughing. This causes Alex Brine, out of embarrassment, to walk into the way of embarrassed to live whole. However, instead of mourning her, Alex's father, Alex Brine and HEROBRINE presumably go on a date. Alex Brine, you know, that talk about a good love story. It sounds a little better than Twilight. Coming in at number 9, Alex and Fazbear's connections. Yeah, FNAFters. Yeah. We're talking about some of this. She goes to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and when he jump scares her, she doesn't even twitch. But when she jump scares him, Freddy Fazbear gets so scared that he runs into a lava pit and dies. HEROBRINE compliments Alex Brine, but says that she is still not as scary as him. So they decide to have a scare off. In this scare off, they scare a bunch of random players, like Bacon Crafter, a random guy in a red hoodie that they never met, exploding TNT, villagers, and buildings. They leave Pink Sheep alone for obvious reasons. After doing all that scaring, the two sit on the bench and begin to talk about how they had an awesome scare and complimenting each other about the weather, and finally Alex Brine says, "Hey, HEROBRINE, I like ya." Coming in at number 8, she has a dark side. Yes, Alex Brine, she's very evil, definitely has a dark side to her. I mean, women, they all have a dark side, jeez. So does Alex. I mean, from her origin all the way down to destroying them into the cursed world. She was pure evil. She seemed to have little remorse and none at all for her enemies. She wouldn't care if she missed and hit a sheep. Sorry sheep, I'm not punching you, I'm hitting you. Sounds familiar, right? From potion taking and turning into giant Alex, she grows to an enormous size and will make your game a living hell. Because remember, I am not punching you, I'm hitting you. Hashtag Team Johnny for the win. Coming in at number 7, Origin. Summoned into the world by Alex. When Alex drank a potion called the Potion of Evil, they went onto a world that Parker discovered to get the last purple portal piece that they needed, which was the name of them. They entered into a world almost entirely of just slime blocks. They found a cave that had several odd purple slimes. The largest, when they neared it, got the wither effect, and when it finally killed it, they left a black portal piece. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Log.zip and Alex then proceeded to die from the wither effect, and Log.zip was coming back. He got lost and went into the wrong cave. When they came back to Parker's lab though, he led them to a machine and put the piece in, and when they thought it would just turn into a normal purple portal piece, it also left behind a potion of evil, but it would have been better if Log had drank it. I'm just gonna call him Log for short. If Log had drank it. Well, maybe not, since Dark Log is like a noob, kinda like Alex, but Log records the videos. Alex then proceeds to steal the potion, and then she leads him to the central part, and then she drank it. It was hard to tell whether or not Log was grabbed by the piece or not, because when looked around, it looks like Alex had ran off with the potion, and Alex drank the potion and had the wither effect for 5 seconds. After those 5 seconds, she was not there. Dark Alex Brine was. Coming in number 6, Alex Dog, Demo Dog. Yeah. You're gonna hear a little bit about this, okay? She has one known pet known as Demo, and he's very capable of destroying a whole village. In fact, he did. He massacred a desert village and almost wasn't stopped. Her ally Dark Parker made him for her and also created demigorgons on that world. When killed, they drop an item called a slug that when placed, a slug would appear. Not much is known about them except for a few minutes that they will get the rejuvenation effect, and Alex finds them disgusting. Also, is it the Demigorgon in Stranger Things? Like, nah, man, like this is a dog they're talking about? Like, you gotta be really twisted, Alex, to have this type of pet. I'm sorry. Ugh. Midway through number 5, Alex Brine has a weakness. Listen, if you got the needy Alex in your world, here's a couple of useful tips that can help you capture or kill her. Some potions include strong strength potions made using nether wart, blaze powder, or glowstone dust. Negative effect potions in splashable form to use on Alex Brine, such as weakness potions, poisons, or slowness potions. Yeah, so compared to our homie, Alex isn't immortal like Hero, but you will need a whole lot more work to kill our homie Brian, you know what I'm saying? As I gave you the sauce for his alleged girl, but I ain't gonna give you the sauce on home because he ain't got no weaknesses. Coming in at number 4, has HEROBRINE's powers but watered down. Such powers come with great wisdom. Telepathy, yes, all these entities have an ability for the most part. Super speed might be the teal blue blur, but the blue blur is better. And if you know who the blue blur I'm talking about, that's Sonic, alright? Construction of deadly traps kinda sound like she's doing the construction in Toronto because they're always working out down here. Cutting out people's audio, banning people from the servers after death, and turning players into zombies. Yeah, it's a cool aspect to probably one of the best ones, because if you think yourself is safe, not anymore. They will flame up, and once the sun rolls in, the zombies are done. But I mean, she's still summoning these zombies after you. Coming in at number 3, Enderman attack animation. Yeah. You heard me, it's another animation one, but this one is cool, alright? This Enderman has no remorse.
Had your kids, had your wife, and had your husband, because
Endermen are in town. And who do they want? If you haven't gotten it by now, it's not us, it's Alex. And what does the Enderman have planned for her? Let me see. Ender Alex. Yeah, you heard me, Ender Alex. Cause just now she was a top tier badass, and now she's off course to homie. He got his ENDERMAN dripped out swag, but now she's got it too. But that ain't it. She's also under control by the Black Phasma and wields a trident. And definitely after a hard days of work, I just want to be chilling with my Minecraft. But hats off to Black Phasma though for creating this video and letting us dive into more animation and see Ender Alex in action. Coming in number 2, Alex Brine's Seed, but done by Rage Elixir and your boy Action. Alright, so one thing I must say when I enjoy making these Minecraft lists are finding the Mythbusters like Rage Elixir and your boy Action, the 2 YouTubers. They stay and see some of the craziest things. Now maybe it might be on Minecraft Pocket Edition, but still Java can get access to it too. But what happens when you load up your world when Alex Brine is in it? Just pure terror, horror, and yup, all the haunting that Hero does, but Alex Brine be acting like a stalking creeper with so much more damaging to your world. Like, hey yo homie, come get your girl. And finally here at number 1, Alex Brine is the new homie Brine. Yeah, right. Alex Brine is supposed to be the new homie Brine, or sorry, Hero Brine, by Game Chap. Alex Brine is the same as Hero Brine, but uses Alex's skin instead. Alex Brine is just Birdie in Alex's skin with white eyes. Although Alex Brine is mentioned in one video, it's spread it to skins, and at the end of the video by Game Chap mentions Alex Brine is just Birdie as Hero Chap. At the end of the video, Alex Brine message is X instead of E, and that goes to show you naysayers, Hero Brine is real, because without Hero Brine, there is no Alex Brine. Without Steve, there's no Alex to mine. So believe what you want. I believe in my homie. Y'all might believe in Alex.